Hello and welcome to this session. This session is on technology mediated academic counseling. Technology and skill acquisition are important means for realizing the concept of sustainable education. Sustainable Development Goals have targeted 14 goals. The theme of ensuring quality education is included as digital technologies and global inclusiveness. Achieving the targets of education for all will contribute to meeting Goal 4.7 that envisages to ensure that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development by 2030, and Goal 4.c that envisages to increase the supply of qualified teachers. Technology mediated instruction or counseling strategies have been found to be effective in skill acquisition of reading, writing, communication, collaboration, and negotiation. Technological devices such as wireless laptops, electronic decision boards, handheld computing, video devices, computer assisted problem solving systems, electronic video games, and web-based mediated instruction systems to have been found to augment learning. This session will highlight the skills for sustainability education and explore the technology mediated instruction strategies for skill acquisition for sustainability education. I am Professor V.V. Subramaniam, Director, Center for Online Education, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi, India. Instructional strategies that make use of educational potential of technology may be referred to as technology mediated pedagogies. In short, we can call them as TMPs. TMPs imply use of technology for teaching and learning. In the last decade, there have been alternate instructional strategies attempted in the learning place. Innovations and inventions have always found a way to the classrooms. First, these have been tried out as experiments and eventually finding permanence as an essential attribute for teaching and learning. The same could be described about digital technologies also. Digital technologies starting with the PCs have now transformed classrooms, computer labs to handheld devices. Let us learn the definition of technology mediated academic counseling. Technology mediated instruction or else counseling is the term applied collectively to a variety of methods that use digital technology in its many forms to facilitate the acquisition of knowledge by the students. The origins of technology mediated instructions predate the development of WWW, that is World Wide Web. There is little doubt that the rapid rise in the use of instructional technology has been enabled by the widespread availability of internet connectivity. Early adopters used the web to archive and deliver instructional materials such as class notes, slide sets, and assignments. Associated with the development of advanced web browsers and wider availability of broadband connections, a whole host of interactive tools including streaming of videos, desktop conferencing have enabled instructors to create a visual or else a virtual classroom environment that is independent of distance and time. So among this, one method we can speak about, that is the blended learning. It is an instructional methodology, a teaching and learning approach that combines face-to-face classroom methods with computer mediated activities to deliver instructions. Wherever there is a possibility of having a classroom teaching and also a kind of distance teaching through the online technologies like through video conferencing and other kinds of assisting methods, we call them as a kind of blending, and this one leads to the blended learning. This pedagogical approach means a mixture of face-to-face and online activities and the integration of synchronous and asynchronous learning tools, thus providing an optimum possibility for the arrangement of effective learning processes. The important features of blended learning are increased student engagement in learning, enhanced teacher and student interaction, responsibility for learning, time management and flexibility, improved student learning outcomes, enhanced institutional reputation, more flexible teaching and learning environment, more amenable for self and continuous learning, better opportunities for experiential learning. There is another strategy called as the flipped classroom. The flipped classroom model is similar program that aims to utilize technology in order to rearrange the learning experience and maximize the effectiveness of valuable face-to-face time in the classroom. In a flipped classroom program, students would be encouraged to access digital learning materials via a cloud-based learning platform or else through learning management system during their own time. Resources such as video lectures, podcasts, recordings and articles would be provided in order to transfer the main bulk of necessary knowledge from teacher to student before each class. This then frees up the time in the class for teachers to support students in activities, lead discussions and facilitate engagement. So by now you can understand flipped classroom is the reverse of face-to-face teaching. Here the teacher is not there for teaching the whole bulk of the reference textbook. However, he is giving a set of video lectures, podcasts, recordings and other kinds of material in order to facilitate the students to understand at their own pace at home. However, during the class, the teacher is leading the discussions or else the activities and he is facilitating the engagement through some leading discussions. Let us learn the benefits of the blended learning. So this gives an opportunity for collaboration at a distance, that is individual students work together virtually in an intellectual endeavor as a learning practice. It increases the flexibility, that is the technology enabled learning allows for teachers anytime and anywhere, letting the students to learn without the barriers of time and location but with the possible support of in-person engagement. It increases the interaction. Blended learning provides making learning resources and experiences repeatable, reliable and reproducible. It enhances the learning, that is additional types of learning activities in order to improve the engagement and can help the students achieve higher and more meaningful levels of learning. And then learning to be the virtual citizens. Learners practice the ability to project themselves socially and academically in an online community of inquiry. So let us see the role of an academic counselor in the blended learning. So blended learning shifts the academic counselor's role from knowledge provider to a coach and mentor. This shift does not mean that teachers play a passive or less importance in their roles. However, it is quite contrary. With blended learning, academic counselors can have an even more profound influence and effect on the students' learning. Academic counselors are valuable coaches for helping students manage in any learning situation. It is up to the teachers and learning designers to offer various blended activities that best suit the subject, the learner's needs and the curriculum requirements. There are certain categories which we are going to discuss right now. One such category is open educational resources can be blended into the main teaching learning stream. OERs are defined by the United Nations as an type of educational materials in the public domain or introduced with an open license, critical to supporting open knowledge and open access. OERs are learning materials supporting legal and free copying, usage, adaptation and sharing as per their licensing mechanism. These resources can be anything from textbooks to syllabi, lecture notes, tests, videos, animations, whatnot. There are many more open education resources available free of cost. OER offers the opportunity to provide access, quality guide to blended learning and cost effectiveness in educational delivery and have to led to significant dialogue around policies for knowledge sharing and capacity building in the social and economic global world. There is another term called as the Creative Commons. Creative Commons is a global collaborative movement for the sharing of free, international, easy to use materials. So, the goal for this international community is to enable greater access and equality. It supports education for everyone. Those who created and now support and use Creative Commons believe in sharing and collaborating on materials such that the full potential of the web will be realized. Most importantly, this will also be true for the individuals who will use it. So, these Creative Commons can be used by the academic counselors during their academic counseling. Creative Commons provides a set of licenses for anyone to use while releasing any teaching or learning resources as open educational resource. The licenses also provide a technical solution to tag the resources with a machine readable language to identify them as OER. This allows potential users to filter their searches by usage rights in Google Advanced Search. If you click on Google, go to the Advanced Search, use the usage rights, there you can select the Creative Commons and the material whichever is relevant to the Creative Commons will be downloaded there. There are many platforms through which we can find and share the OER. There is another term very popular nowadays and is a buzzword, that is called as the MOOC, and this particular MOOC is also can be used as one of the academic counseling media. So, MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Course, which is an online education system providing various courses which aims at large scale interactive participation and open access via web. MOOC aims to provide real-time education online with the help of various features like videos, study materials, quiz and online exams, and also tries to make it more efficient than the real-time education in classrooms by removing the time constraints and location constraints. These MOOCs are also provide interactive discussion sessions for the user through interactive discussion forums that help to build a community for the students and professors. There is another platform which the academic counselors can use, that is the learning management system. In short, we can call it as a LMS. LMS are web applications, meaning that they run on a server and are accessed by using through a web browser. LMSs give educators tools to create a course website and provide access control, so only enrolled students can view that particular course material. LMSs also offer a wide variety of tools that can make use of your course more effectively transacted. They provide an easy way to upload and share materials, hold online discussions and charts, give quizzes and surveys, gather and review assignments, and record grades. Learning management system can be installed in cloud and all faculty can upload to share all the particular class related documents, videos, MP3s, podcasts, etc. There is another tool called as SimLab available for the academic counselors, and this SimLab is a process oriented multidisciplinary simulation environment to accurately analyze the performance of complex assemblies. It is designed as a powerful 3D visualization and communication platform with a rich set of built-in workbenches. As general multipurpose 3D software solution, it helps user to simplify complex workflow through simple graphical user interface and easy to figure tools. So this SimLab is a proprietary one, and this SimLab provides augmented reality, virtual reality headset, and it supports Android operating systems, Windows operating systems, as well as the iOS operating systems. SimLab's virtual reality viewer is a standalone application that can view, edit and share interactive VR experiences. If you want to have a fine look about this particular SimLab, please log on to www.simlab-soft.com. There you have ample number of watchable videos in order to take the experience of this particular SimLab approach. There are also labs which are virtually hosted. We call them as the virtual labs. So virtual labs provide remote access to labs in all major disciplines of science and engineering. These virtual labs can cater to students at undergraduate and postgraduate levels as well as to research scholars. Use of these labs can cut down the effective cost of 24/7 uses and providing better reliability, repeatability and access. It helps the student to conduct experiments by arousing their curiosity and learning basic and advanced concepts through remote experimentation, but with more safety and security. It can be considered as a part of learning management systems where the students can avail the various tools for learning, including additional web resources, video lectures, animated demonstrations and self-evaluation. So these virtual labs can be a kind of link on the left side of the learning management system as a component in order to provide the lab component to the students. So there is another component called as FOSSEE. In India, we promote free, libre and open source software for education. If you visit www.fossee.in, you can have a wide variety of open source software distributed to all the higher education institutions. So this is a website wherein which it caters to the open source software distribution. So you can have and you can see, you can download the open source software from there in order to use them in the higher education institutions. So the academic counselors, they themselves also identify some sort of open source software and they can use through these FOSSEE tools. So ICT tools for collaboration. There are certain tools wherein which the students also can collaborate in building up the course material. So we will learn some of the ICT tools for collaboration. So collaborative contribution of learners may be planned by teachers through free ICT tools, and some of the indicative ICT tools are listed below. One is the blogging tool, shared documents, social media tools like Facebook Live, WhatsApp, etc. And there is another collaborative tool called as the Wikipedia also. So the faculty or the academic counselor will start that discussion, and later on whoever comes across the new kind of knowledge to be transferred or knowledge to be recorded, they themselves can put on this particular Wikipedia or else in the form of a shared document in order to share with the peer group of students. So let us see one of the collaborative tool, that is the blogging tool. A blog can be created by the teacher with a simple account on any blogging tool or blogging website, and then student can be added as contributors to the blog. A problem or a theme or an issue may be provided with a few resources, and learners' views, ideas, opinions, examples, scenarios, etc. can be invited as contribution to the blog. Blogging can be given as an asynchronous activity, and the teacher can be facilitated to guide them throughout the posting process. So you can see this is happening as an asynchronous tool, and the student is also contributing towards the contributed learning or else the collaborative learning. There is another tool called as the sticky note tools. Sticky note tools such as IdeaFlip, Lino.it, Jamboard, etc. can be used for online brainstorming. Brainstorming activity can be done as a synchronous activity in live online class, or else an assignment of such idea generation can be given as a synchronous activity. So these kinds of sticky note tools can be used by academic counselors in order to have the brainstorming activity. There is another tools wherein which we are all aware of. Those are called as the shared documents. Most of us we will use the Google Sheets, Google Docs, Google presentations, etc. and also we share them through the drive in order to give it as a supplementary material to the students also. So students can be told to come out with a product after working in small groups of 2 or 5 students. Tools such as Google Doc, Google Slides, Etherpad, Scatterspoke and others can be introduced to them. So most of these tools are free and students can get chance of being online at their own convenience and internet availability. So these particular shared documents are meant as a powerful tools in order to share various docs, various slides and other kinds of presentations to all the peer group. And there are other tools called as the concept mapping, mind mapping and infographic tools. So the collaborative concept mapping and mind mapping ICT tools such as Miro, Google Drawing, Concept Board, Google, Bubble.us, etc. help learners come together online, discuss and establish relationships of concepts related to a topic and theme. These particular concept mapping, mind mapping and infographic tools are very effective tools wherein which the complete picture of the unit or the chapter can be given using a simple concept mapping or else a mind mapping tool. So these particular tools are need to be used by the academic counselors in order to provide the overall idea of the unit or the chapter. So online tools avail features of adding videos, images, sketches, links to other files or else you can call them as the hyperlinks, etc. So there are another tool called as the cartoon strips or else the story creation tools. So education at any level and of any subject should develop creative thinking abilities of the learners. So both these tools are very much useful in order to give them or else in order to help them in developing the creative thinking abilities. Microbiology or sociology learners can present their concepts through creating cartoon strips. Story creation tools are helping learners of higher education for presenting their knowledge of a subject instead of merely making presentations in the class. So there are wide variety of open source cartoon strip and story creation tools which the academic counselor can experiment with and can share it with their learners. So short videos, podcasts provide them opportunity to give a creative form to their knowledge on any topic. This will develop their expression, skill and help them present their ideas creatively even after in the field of work after education. Many more ICT tools and platforms can be explored, experimented by the academic counselors, teachers and students. Use of free and open source tools may be encouraged. Mobile apps of many tools will be useful for easy access and availability to the students. There are many apps, free apps that too on the Google Play Store which can be explored by the academic counselors and as the part of transacting the teaching and learning process, those can be prescribed to the students for their use at their convenient pace. Computer labs on the campus may be made available for needy students to provide online activities such as practicals and other forms. So there are comprehensive activity tools such as Padlet, Miro, Whimsical, etc. These may prove effective virtual workspaces. Features such as WiniFrame will be enable learners to develop project management, teamwork abilities needed in the 21st century learners. And there is one more learning mechanism is very much gaining popularity, that is the project based learning. Project based learning tries to wed advantages of project based learning with traditional online lecturing. The students attain the conceptual learning through online resources such as recorded lectures or live classes. This is used for students to collaboratively generate the ideas. So this particular project based learning is gaining popularity nowadays with the blended learning approach. Synchronous and asynchronous online learning environments and some of the ICT tools for collaboration providing facility to discuss, chat, work together can be exploited to use in this particular blending mode by the academic counselor. Approaches likely to be used in the technology mediated counseling. So face to face video lectures is one mode which can be shared to the students for the entire course in the form of pen drive, CD, or these can be hosted on the website also. E-textbook experience but not dependent on the broadband. So there is internet based learning mechanism. In this, the projects to self learning can be introduced. We had already studied about the project based learning, which integrates multiple peer group for the project students to collaboratively generate the ideas. So tab based remote learning, remote examination and evaluation, touch screens and digital pens appeal to tactile learners, portable learning. Satellite based TV channel is another approach wherein which mass learning, adult education, formal education and other kinds of education can be achieved. Online assessments through quiz, assignments, test examinations at regular intervals to measure the learning outcomes by the academic counselors. So there is one type of examination currently very much popular, that is the spoken or speaking examination. This particular facility is nowadays coming up with the Moodle, that is the open source learning management system. These types of different approaches can be introduced now with the support of new generation of technologies. So they can make examination faster and easier and also can be helpful to students with different abilities. So there may be a kind of link to be provided on to the learning management system wherein which this speaking examinations can be conducted. It is nothing but just switch on the camera, deliver orally or else answer the question orally through video and audio and then just press stop and upload that particular simple clip. So that particular recorded clip will be evaluated by the academic counselor. This particular exercise is called as the spoken or speaking examination. So there are certain tools or else proctored examination solutions available online. You can go through these particular websites that are listed on the slide: Campus Lab, Chalk and Wire, Question Mark, TestMoz, Class Marker, Uni Pariksha, Mercer Metal, Jubsoft. There are several kinds of proctored examination tools available online. So the academic counselor can test or else experiment with these kind of proctored examination tools. So then there is another tool called as the e-portfolio tool, and these particular e-portfolio, there are several tools available online, that too free of cost. So e-portfolio is not only a compilation of a best assignments, activities of a learner throughout the program, but his or her reflections about the assignments, experience and challenges faced during the process of working on these assignments, overall approach, attitude, philosophy towards life as a learner and also his or academic resume. So it is nothing but a complete portfolio of the students which is managed during his course, and afterwards also he can showcase to the workplace people and workplace environment also. So e-portfolio is a comprehensive tool which becomes a mirror to a learner for the world. And in India, we use, in order to deliver the blended learning, we use one model called as IPSIT model. So higher education institutions in India is using IPSIT model for the transacting of blended learning. So IPSIT stands for, I stands for identify resources and learner centered activities. P stands for provide resources and announce activities on LMS. S stands for scaffolding and support to learners. I stands for identification of learning gaps and feedback, and T stands for testing. So this is the IPSIT model we are using in order to transact the blended learning to the learners. So in this particular session, we had listened about many more tools which can be used by the academic counselors in order to transact the teaching learning process. So let's summarize all these issues quickly. Online mode of learning refers to several synchronous and asynchronous learning activities such as accessing e-resources mainly in the form of OER such as text, graphics, animations, simulations uploaded on learning management system by the instructor. Accessing the links, e-resources, digital libraries suggested by the instructor as well as explored individually or in groups. Studying the MOOCs, we had learned about the MOOCs, studying or else providing the kind of links, the MOOCs which are very much useful for the students, or else they can cover some of the subjects through the MOOCs also. Attending online virtual sessions through the video conferencing tools provided by the instructor. Performing individual or group activities using any ICT tool or platform or else any project-based delivery platform. Participating in the workshops, webinars as per suggested by the academic counselor related to the curriculum. Students can complete the assignments and upload them onto the learning management system submitted online at their own pace. Attempting the tests, quizzes, those are provided onto the shared platforms or else onto the learner management system. Engage the students into the virtual labs, simulations, virtual museums and other kinds of activities. The academic counselors can engage the students by giving some sort of webinars, making them participating in the e-conferences, online short-term training programs, etc. And also they can engage the students in online internships provided by various governments or else provided by various multinational companies, or else they can suggest some sort of projects to be undertaken from any of the websites or else any of the providers. The academic counselors can engage the students in any activity directly related to the course curriculum for which learner is not needed to visit the classroom physically but needs to use some sort of digital devices and the internet connectivity. So in this particular session, we had understood about how the academic counselor can use various online tools in order to provide a kind of blended learning or else a kind of flipped classroom to the students in order to engage them or else in order to enhance the teaching learning process. With this, we come to the end of the session. Hope you had learned many more tools during my transaction. Thank you very much.